What's going on, guys? My name is Phenomical. Welcome to the channel, and we're going to be resuming this Miami Marlins rebuild where we have a decent roster now. We've been through 1 year. We got Jose Altuve through free agency. We traded for Andrew Benintendi. We got Adam Warren, and the rest is just a lot of prospects who are trying to get better and improve their overall. We got our lineup and our pitching rotation ready. If you haven't already seen the roster and everything, make sure you go check out the last video. You were able to see a lot more players and everything. But this year, obviously, we're not expecting to win the World Series, but we are expecting to at least try to be a contender for wow. Someone just got injured. Severino Gonzalez is going to be out for 2 to 3 months. Well, great spring training news right there. Way to start off the 2019 season. He's going to be on the DL for a long time. That sucks. But 12 and 17, a lot better than last year in spring training. We're starting off against Chicago again for the second straight year, and I think we're going to go ahead and simulate the first full month and see how it goes. And after the first month, we are 9 and 21, and it looks very bad, but we did have like a 7-game losing streak here, so if we didn't have that, we would have been doing a lot better. So I think we did have a pretty decent first month of the season. So what we're going to do now, we're going to actually go ahead and simulate to the All-Star break. And then once we get there, we're going to look at everybody's stats and everything and do a halfway through the season kind of recap. And we are at the draft now. We got #1 pick just because we were so bad last year. So let's see if we can get anybody who's going to be like very solid. I don't think it's really going to matter just because they're not going to be contending for us within the 4-year frame that I want. So it doesn't really matter who we pick. Okay. Now, we shouldn't, I doubt anybody's in the home run derby. We're just going to skip that anyway. And we do have All-Stars, so let's go see who's in the All-Star game. We got Jose Altuve in the All-Star game. He's batting .274, 14 home runs, 36 RBI. He went down to a 98 overall. And Andrew Benintendi's also in the All-Star game, .268, 12 home runs, 44 RBI. And now we can go ahead and look at our stats for our team and go through the lineup and everything. And starting off, we got David Dahl, not too hot, .220 average. I was hoping he might be able to pick it up. We signed him out of free agency, and he's still an A potential, so he could improve, but he's got a lot of things going down right now. Ben Gamble, .288. That's very good for a kind of just a added on guy for the outfield. Jose Altuve and Andrew Benintendi we already know. Justin Bourne, not too great, .215 average. We might actually trade him and try to get somebody who's going to be in the MLB in a year because his overall is going down pretty quickly, and he's not doing very good. Derek Dietrich, not too great. Brian Anderson, not great at all. JT Riddle, not great at all. And the lower half of the lineup is not helping out at all. How about the bench? Lewis Brinson is actually doing okay. And this is interesting now because we might be able to put him into that leadoff spot now. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to put him in the... We're going to keep him in the lineup just because he's doing pretty good right now. No DH, we got to keep him in there. Let's look at our pitching rotation. Joe Musgrove, he's doing alright, not too great. Shelby Miller, about the same. Not good. Okay, the rotation's not looking too hot right now. The only pitcher we have that's doing good is Adam Warren, was the guy signed out of free agency. So, I mean, it was a good pickup, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because the team is doing pretty bad. We are 37 and 59, not great. We're gonna go ahead and simulate to the All-Star or the trade deadline and see if we're gonna make some trades this year. Most likely, Justin Bourne is gonna go. And we'll see if we get any trade offers from other teams. Doesn't look like it. Alright, guys. So I actually found a trade for a shortstop because shortstop's been such a bad position for us. Pat Valeka for Adam Conley and Justin Bourne. So we're going to be getting rid of those two veterans. Getting rid of some money. We'll be gaining some salary space. And getting a solid shortstop. He's batting .305, 9 home runs, and 22 RBI so far. And he can play second and third if we need him there. So we're going to go ahead add him to our team because Justin Bourne and Adam Conley have both been pretty bad, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of both of them, and that should definitely help improve the team. So let's go ahead, we're going to simulate until the rest of the season and see what happens. We shouldn't expect too much. We're probably not going to have anything happen unless we have a crazy turnaround, but that's most likely not going to happen. Pat Valeka in the lineup, there we go, we like that. Let's go ahead and, like I said, simulate the rest of the season and see what happens. And 69-93. That's not a great ending, but if you think about it this way, that is what, a 14-game improvement from last year, which I think is pretty good for one season. 14 games better than last year. If we can do that again, that'd be great. And then once again the next year. That's a 28 game improvement from now, which would be what, 87 wins, which would be possibly a wild card spot. So obviously we're not making it this year. Let's go ahead and look at the roster, see how they did to end off the season. Look at the lineup. David Dahl improved a little bit, not the most, but he definitely got a little bit better. Ben Gamble stayed about where he was, pretty solid. Jose Altuve, a great season, or it was an okay season. It wasn't the best season. It was all right. Andrew Benintendi, a pretty good season. Derek Dietrich, all right. Actually, he had a lot of home runs for 256 average. Lewis Brinson had a great year. Did he improve? He's still 74 overall. Pat Valleca, he went down a lot since he got here. Garrett Cooper was pretty solid. Zach Collin, our catching is not good. Just to put it lightly, our catching is pretty bad. Joe Musgrove actually got a lot better. He had a pretty decent season. Garcia, he went down a little bit too. Shelby Miller wasn't the greatest. We picked him up in the Rule 5 draft. Couldn't expect too much, but he was all right. Braxton Garrett was actually pretty good. Kevin Cabrera was also okay, not the greatest. Our bullpen wasn't too hot. 7 ERA, wow. And then Adam Warren was good to round it out. He was cold to end off the season, I guess, but he did pretty good. Did we win any awards? I don't think we did. We did not. We had no awards, guys, on the disabled list. Cubs defeated the Yankees. That's interesting. So the Cubs got their second World Series win in, what, 4 years? Pretty nice. That's cool. And we're going to advance to the offseason, and I got to take care of some coaches. Oh, wow, a lot of coaches are gone. And I got to take care of a lot of signings to some players, so I'll be back when that happens. Let's see if anybody got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Albert Pujols, Hall of Fame. He had 3,000 hits, 622 home runs, 303 batting average. Very, very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. All right, so I'm back. I actually finished signing everybody to a contract for the coaches, and we have an all-A attribute for coaches, except for the manager. He's the only one that has negative anything. He has -3 power, but everybody else is all positive. So we have a great coaching staff. All right, guys, we are back. I gave contracts to everybody, arbitration and offered contracts. We didn't really have any notable free agents on the team this year, but we are actually in the free agent pool. And Anthony Rizzo's sitting here, and I'm wondering if we can get Anthony Rizzo, we could definitely improve our team by a lot. So we're going to offer him a 5-year, $128.4 million contract. It's going to put us down a little bit of money, but if he signs, that could definitely help out the team a lot. We're going to give Will Harris a $6.6 million contract for 1 year. He had a 1.3 ERA. He'd be a great closer for the team, and I think that's just about it for major leagues. If there's a starting pitcher here that I really want to grab, I might. Gio Gonzalez is getting up there in age. Sonny Gray he's possible. I mean, I'd like to pick up a starting pitcher, but at the same time, I think we got a lot of prospects coming up right now, and we definitely need to pick up a catcher for sure. That is absolutely necessary. Our catching has been dreadful, and Francisco Cervelli is 34 years old, but he did have a good year last year, so he might be who we want to go after. We'll go with that. We'll see if he accepts that. We're going to be giving out a lot of money this year, but we'll see. Marlins can no longer afford Anthony Rizzo. That sucks. Let's see. Zach Britton went to the Giants, so we're not getting him. We can't afford Anthony Rizzo. That kind of sucks. That's kind of disappointing. But we did get Francisco Cervelli. I don't know why it's not telling us when we sign people. That'd be very, very nice. But we did get Francisco Cervelli. And then we also have, this guy would be a good backup for now. If he improves more, he'd be great, especially since he's a left-hander. So now catching is basically set. I really wanted to get Anthony Rizzo because our first baseman is not very good. And besides that, our positions are pretty good. Brian Anderson is going down a lot. We might have to grab a third baseman. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give Anthony Rendon this contract. He had a very good year last year. He's only 29 years old. He's the B potential. 4 years for $58.7 million, 14.7 a year. A lot cheaper than Anthony Rizzo, and he might be able to help out the team just as much. And if he does sign, we can't afford Will Harris anymore. And we did get Anthony Rendon. That's awesome. So we got him. So third base is basically locked up for now. We are set there. All right, so I found a trade for Derek Law. He's 29, 82 overall, and he had a 2.25 ERA last season. Pretty solid. We're going to be giving him James Nelson, a third baseman who is a B potential. And then also they wanted a starting pitcher, so I gave him Dylan Peters, who is also a B potential, but he's 27 years old, 64 overall. I don't see him making the roster at all anytime soon. So we're going to make this trade and instantly make the bullpen a little bit better. All right, we're at the Rule 5 draft right now, and I'm looking at Brandon Finnegan just because he has the possibility of being a good player. He just hasn't been in the major leagues. So we're going to go ahead and give him a contract just because our starting pitching hasn't been too great anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate the rest of it. And we're going to go ahead and give him a contract. And he's making $740K a year, and he's actually angry. It says he's in the bullpen. We're going to change him to the rotation, which is what I want him in anyway, because some of these guys weren't too great last year, such as Shelby Miller, and probably Shelby Miller. Shelby Miller can go to the bullpen. We'll put him in a spot, and he's still angry, but there's really nothing else we can do about that. He's going to be 71 overall. Whether he likes it or not. All right, so we're back. Basically what I decided to do is we're going to keep our first baseman how he is, just because he wasn't great and he wasn't horrible. He was kind of in the middle, and we can't really afford to get another big hitter or anything. So we're just going to keep what we have, and we're going to go ahead and sim the rest of the offseason and see what happens with the season. So we're going to see what happens. Let's sim the spring training. See if we can get a positive record for once, and not looking like we're going to. And 13-16, which is a lot better than before, but still below 500 though. All right, but let's go ahead and start this off. Let's see how the season goes. We're gonna simulate 1 month through, and from there we're gonna see how if this is gonna be a positive or negative season. We're starting off negative. Let's hope we can get something going here. And we finished the first month 12-19, not too great. Let's check how everybody's doing real quick. Anthony Rendon fell off. Ben Gamel's doing pretty good. Jose Altuve's doing good. Benintendi's good. David Dahl's not doing good. Derek Dietrich is good. Voleka's not. Garrett Cooper's alright. Francisco Cervelli's doing pretty alright right now. Joe Musgrove's doing great. Garcia's doing great. Shelby Miller's doing good. And it seems like the hitting and the pitching is doing good. I don't know why we're losing so many games. I'm very surprised that we're 12-19. Let me check the bullpen. Maybe that's what's happening. We have one good pitcher there, another pretty solid one. And yeah, the bullpen's not doing too great, and I'm wondering if that is the reason we are negative right now. I'm gonna go ahead and simulate to the All-Star break and see what happens. And here we are at the All-Star break. We are gonna check. Let's see how many All-Stars we have this year. Andrew Benintendi, once again, he's doing very good right now. Wow, look at those stats. Who else do we have? Anybody else? We also have Anthony Rendon. He's here as well. He's doing pretty solid. And that's it. Jose Altuve is not on the All-Star roster this year. Let's go ahead and check everybody's stats. Anthony Rendon, like we saw, he's doing pretty good. Ben Gamel's doing pretty all right as well. Jose Altuve, he's having an all right season. But I mean, I guess it's not all-star worthy. Andrew Benintendi's amazing right now. Dietrich's pretty good. David Dahl's not great. Voleka's not great. Brian Anderson's kind of slacking. Francisco Cervelli's okay. Lewis Brinson doesn't look like he's improved at all since the last time we checked. Joe Musgrove's kind of fallen off a little bit. Garcia has as well. Shelby Miller's doing good. Finnegan's doing all right. Braxton Garrett is okay. And the bullpen is about the same as it was, and I think that is a sign. I think we need to go ahead and try to get some relief pitchers on this team, or at least some starting pitching, because the starting pitching, I think, is the reason we're doing bad right now. All right, so we actually found a trade for Kyle Crockett, who's a 77 overall. He's having a pretty solid season, and he comes cheap. We're going to be trading him a 63 overall catcher as well, so that could possibly help out the bullpen a lot. And he came pretty cheap, like I said. So that should be a good move so far. And I actually found another trade for Danny Barnes, a 79 overall. He's having a very, very good year right now. 1.12 ERA for Mickey Moniak, who was a #1 overall pick a few years ago. And I traded for him, but he's never really gone any better. So, I mean, he's not going to help out for this rebuild. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of him. So right now I think we're going to go ahead and go with this. I mean, our bullpen got better. They got an upgrade. 2 upgrades, actually. Danny Barnes and Kyle Crockett. Alright guys, so I actually found a very interesting deal. I found a pitcher who is has a 3.19 ERA. He's A potential. He's 25 years old, already 74 overall. And I'm actually going to go ahead and trade him Lewis Brinson, just because he hasn't really done too much since he's been on this team. And I know he's getting better. He's an A potential. And this could really help out the team if this guy amounts to a very good starting pitcher on the squad. So we're going to go ahead, make that trade. So Lewis Brinson is gone, but we do have a way better starting pitcher now, and he could possibly bump up the rotation to become a lot better. All right, so we're going to go ahead and simulate the rest of the season and see how it plays out. And there's the season. We actually finished 75 and 87, which is 6 games better than last year, which is it's an all right improvement. I don't know how much we have to get better next year to make the playoffs, but it is going to be our last year in this rebuild, and I think I'm actually at the end of my GM contract, so I have to sign with the Marlins again just to help improve. But we didn't make the playoffs. Let's actually check the standings. We came in last place. Our division was actually pretty strong this year. We got 2 Gold Glove awards, 1 for Anthony Rendon and 1 for Andrew Benintendi. So let's go ahead and check everybody's stats for the year end. Jose Altuve finished with a 280 average, 13 home runs, 58 RBIs. Anthony Rendon had a great year, 303, 32 home runs, 102 RBIs. Andrew Benintendi also had a great year. David Dahl had a pretty good year. The average is a little bit low, but the home runs and RBIs are very good. Ben Gamel also had a nice year. Pat Valleca was pretty good with the power and the RBIs. The average was down. Garrett Cooper was pretty good. He was in the middle. Francisco Cervelli was all right, and Brian Hernandez, right fielder. I'm not sure why. Oh, this is the DH lineup. That's why he's a backup. We can check the bench. Brian Anderson was not very good. Zach Collins had 1 at bat. MJ Melendez was not very good, and Brian Hernandez was not very good either. Let's go ahead and check the pitching rotation. Musgrove was Same with Garcia. Shelby Miller was actually pretty solid. Brandon Finnegan was kind of not very great either. Braxton Garrett was the same. And the guy we traded for went into the bullpen. He didn't stay in the starting role, which is interesting because he finished with a great season. I think he definitely needs to be in the starting rotation next year, just because his overall is down, which is the reason he's not in there. But our other 2 trades did good as well. Kyle Crockett, 2.85 ERA, and Danny Barnes had a 1.49 ERA. So those 2 definitely picked up a lot of slack on the bullpen. So those are 2 very good trades. Adam Warren was not very good, and I think his contract might be up after this year. Derek Law, I don't know about him, but he was not too great either. Nick Wickering was okay, and I think that's about it for the bullpen. Kevin Cabrera was not very good either. And here we are. My contract has come to an end, so I actually don't have a offer from the Miami Marlins. I don't have an offer. This is interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. I might not be able to finish this rebuild. Maybe the rebuild that was actually 3 years. So I guess this is actually the end. I guess I lied. This whole time I was ready for 4 years, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do that. So I guess we failed. We were not able to win the Miami Marlins a World Series. We definitely improved them a lot. We went up, I think, we started off with 107 losses, and we finished with 75 and 87, which was a 20-point gain in wins over 3 years, which I think is pretty solid. They have a lot of good players, and I think as long as some of them develop and everything, they're definitely going to become a contender very soon. But I mean, I guess I still failed a little bit because this is actually my first time doing this rebuilding thing. So next time I do one, I'll either probably just make it 3 years as the expectations to win a World Series, or I'll just turn off the GM contracts and everything, and we'll just go ahead and stay as the GM for a while. I was expecting to get a contract from Miami, but I guess they're like, oh, you didn't make the playoffs in any of the years that we had you, so you're not worthy of our GM spot. Well, I'm sorry, but I started off with a absolutely trash team, and I got you guys to a almost contender, so I think that's pretty good. So first franchise I started off with, Marlins. We did not win a World Series, sadly. So let me know what you guys want to see next. Give me a team that you guys want to see rebuilt next, or if you want me to retool a team, which is basically taking a team who's already solid, such as the Red Sox, Yankees, Astros, or Dodgers, teams that are already contenders, and making them better. Obviously, it's the same goal, win the World Series, but it's a little bit easier and it'll take less time. So let me know the team you guys want to see down in the comments below. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching these videos, and it's actually going to be in 2 parts. It was going to be in 3 parts because I was actually planning to sign players after the season and then make a final part, but here we are without a job, so we can't really do that. So I hope you guys did enjoy this little 2-part series for the Miami Marlins, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.